All right, so what we're gonna do, I just decided to make a video because I know there's a lot of tutorials on drifting, but like I didn't really find a lot of tutorials that helped me progress as fast as I could have. So I'm gonna do a little tutorial. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, I don't know, I can pick any car really, but let's see. Go ahead and pick out a drift car, whatever you want to use. And for the map, just try to get something with like a big skid pad or a lot of concrete so you can, learn without having to fall off the road. I'm going to go ahead and go to ACS Nola because it's just a big concrete pad pretty much. So, and, you could, first of all, you're going to make sure you do the tutorials on your wheel and all that stuff. Make sure you have the good wheel settings for drifting. And I know I'm not wearing shoes, but like I'm way more comfortable wearing socks when I drift. Or at least at my house. If I'm in my car, then I'll wear shoes. But yeah, I'm not. So, all right. So first off, make sure once your wheel settings is good, head to a spot to practice. I'm gonna head over here, and pretty much the majority of your drifting is gonna be in second gear. But if you wanted to go at a slower speed to start, you can start in first gear. So really the easiest way is you can see my clutch is in, right? You know what a clutch kick is probably, but if you don't, clutch kick's where you rev bomb your throttle and then you let go of your clutch, and that's what it looks like if you don't do anything. Alright, let's try that again and kind of see if we can control it a little bit. And right now we're going for like a donut, so let's just practice the donut. Alright, so that's probably what you're gonna do. Oh, right there, you're in first gear, so your power band is getting cut off. So when you're at a high RPM, you basically can't break traction anymore. So it cuts off the power to your back wheels. So if I was that speed in second gear, let's see. Try it again. See, it's not really cutting second gear, and then it lets me go. So if you want to do a donut in first gear, you're gonna have to do a shorter circle. So one that you can still control your throttle. Alright, let's talk about donuts. So I'm going to demonstrate this in second gear, if you don't mind, and kind of talk about how your steering affects your donuts, because people will say like practice donuts, but they don't really explain what happens when you do what. So what I like to think about is I'm kind of chasing the donut with my wheel. So if I'm going left, I'm gonna slowly be correcting it left, left, and left. So let's see how that looks. And I'm only using throttle here just to kind of beginner friendly tutorial. So I'm only use throttle here. So you kind of, okay, this is the first time using this car also, so if I'm a little rusty with it, I've never driven it. So one thing to note, if you cut too much in, you have too much angle, let off the throttle a little bit. So if you do that, you let off the throttle and it brings you back around here. Let off the throttle, brings you back. Let off the throttle. So you got, different parts of your donut, right? You're gonna have your clutch kick initiation, or whatever initiation you're going into, followed by whatever angle you're going. You're gonna be having your steering wheel in that direction. Then you're gonna let your wheel spin, and then catch it whenever. You're gonna learn when the right time to catch it is, but you can start practicing this by going left, catching it a little bit. You're probably gonna look like that, and not really let it. You might catch it too late or too soon, but only way to get better: spin, catch, chase, spin, chase. Let it spin a little bit. Chase. See how it spins? But the more aggressive you're going, the more it's going to spin. So if I'm going way left, it's going to spin. Way left, let it spin. Way left. But ideally in a perfect donut, you're gonna want it to be less corrections as possible. So it's gonna look something like this right here. So it's a little bit of back and forth, but when you start, that's when you're gonna have a lot of spin. And that's normal. Let it spin through your hands. Don't be... This is what it should not look like. Don't be doing like anything crazy with your hands. You don't need to do that because the wheel works for you. So I can literally keep my hands in that same, pretty much the same position at all times. That's all it is. And your wheel and your throttle kind of go hand in hand, which is what I was explaining to my friend one time. So if I have too much angle, I kind of let go of the steering wheel and the throttle. And if I need to cut in, I'll use the more throttle and use more steering angle. So once you feel like you have a good kind of grip on donuts, no pun intended, you really just want to master donuts and then, you know, maybe master figure eights. I know I use the clutch a little bit. I'll try to stop using the clutch for now, but that's a good start. So you have basic control of understanding how your wheel interacts and how your throttle interacts and all that stuff. Okay. Now, next thing I would want you to do, you know, it feels me talking to me and I'll learn all over again, is practice your clutch kicks while you're in a donut. So just clutch kick, clutch kick, clutch kick. Let yourself come out of the donut a little bit like this, and then clutch kick back. Clutch kick, clutch kick. And even if your donuts look like this, I mean, just keep doing it. You know, kind of understand how a clutch kick works. And also, if you're losing power like this, that's when you can use it again to just start another donut. So that just gets you comfortable using your throttle and then clutch kicking and then controlling your steering as well. So it's a good thing to learn. Okay, what else should we learn? E-brakes. Let's learn e-brakes, I guess. Alright. We're going to learn e-brakes by basically being on this big skid pad. And you're going to be going at a high speed. And you're going to use your clutch while you e-brake. That's basically every time you e-brake, you want to have your clutch in. So yeah, clutch in when you e-brake. I'll go ahead and demonstrate this. Clutch, e-brake. And that's what happens if you don't do anything. Alright. Let's see what happens if you do something. Boom. Oh no. Clutch kick. I remember this now. Donut. Oh no. This is awesome. Right? So yeah, so once you obviously use your e-brake, it's going to start you into a slide. And you can use that slide to do whatever you want. Another little tip is e-brake is used not only to initiate drift, but it can be used to extend a drift. So let's say I was trying to drift to the right. Oh, pulled it, and it kind of, you know, let me go a little further than I would have if I hadn't pulled it. So that's another little trick with e-brakes. And you can also just demonstrate the way the e-brake works without even being on the track. So see, gave me a little bit of extra distance on that drift. So you can use that a lot, especially if you're driving like togeys through small narrow roads. You're going to be using the e-brake a lot as well. So we went over clutch kicks, donuts. Alright, let's talk about steering and the counter steering and all that. So your steering wheel is your input, right? That's which direction you're going, and your gas is pretty much gonna give your input the energy it needs. So let's see. So if I was drifting in a donut and I went left like that with a little bit of gas, it just basically keeps the donut alive, right? But if I go left with a lot of gas, kind of makes my steering a lot more aggressive, right? It kind of inputs that even more. So the more gas with your steering angle, the more it goes whichever direction your steering is going to go. So another drill you can learn is counter steering. So what I want you to do is get in second gear and just try to go back and forth. And you can see I'm only really putting my gas to the floor when I'm at the max distance on the turn. So it's pretty much when you're using it to go the other way. So you're loading up your steering wheel, and then you're letting go when it straightens out, and it's swinging to the other side. So load up, gas, let go, gas, gas. That's very simple. So should be able to get that down in 5-10 minutes. And this is very useful because it's mostly when you're on a track or anything, you're using counter steering. So drifting left, let it bring me to the right. And then catch the wheel, and then you chase it to the right. Catch the wheel, chase it to the left. Catch the wheel, chase it to the right. Catch the wheel, chase it to the left. So again, back to the donut technique, chasing the donut. You chase it to the left. If you're losing angle, if you're gaining angle, let go of the wheel, a little bit of let go of the gas a little bit. Alright, sweet. So I don't really cover the brake when you're drifting. There's two ways you can use it. Probably like 3 or 4 actually, more like 3 or 4, but we'll go ahead and cover the most basic one. So let's go ahead and cover regular left foot braking. So let's say you're coming to a drift and you got way too much speed, like here. Oh crap. Alright, so what I did there, all I did was basically put my foot on the clutch and then put my right foot on the brake. That's pretty simple. And then from there you can clutch kick out into a drift. So clutch kicks are very useful pretty much anything you do. So from like e-brake, clutch kick, to what I just did, which was right foot braking. Clutch kick. That's one of the ways you can use the brakes. That's the most basic. Too much speed. Oh crap, brake. Or too much speed. Oh, brake. Couple clutch kicks. Controlled. Alright, we're good. We're dead. We're not dead. We're not dead. Let's see. Another way is a little more complicated. So when you left foot brake, you're using a lot of your front brakes, which is why your car goes so much inwards to whatever angle you're going towards. But this can be useful because when you're doing stuff like rounding a wall like this, you can use it to control your angle of your car to keep yourself from hitting the wall. So the way you can kind of practice this left foot braking is go into one of your donuts that you're so skilled at, and you're gonna just tap and you're gonna see that it brings your car a lot more inwards, like that. You're gonna be like, oh crap. So you're gonna have to also learn to control your donut when you left foot brake. So when you're going to, this is why it's useful on a wall. So let me show you. If I do not left foot brake this wall, let's see what it looks like. I'm gonna get close as I can to it. Alright, see, hit the wall. Now, can you do that perfectly without hitting your left foot brake? Of course, but nobody's really perfect, so let's see what it's like using the left foot brake. See, I keep my car kind of tilted to the right. Kind of just position my car. It's just another way to use the technique to increase your angle. It's a lot for one video, but I hope if you need to come back and reference anything, you can do that as well. Yeah, 360 drifts are fun too. Well, that's probably gonna be another video though. Oh, actually did a 720. But yeah, just find yourselves a good track to learn on. When you start out, a bunch of concrete's better, you know, not as much places to fail, and should be able to learn pretty quickly. I mean, I feel like I got the basics down in a few days. It's just a lot of plan. But yeah, it's very fun. Oh, backwards entry. Oh. But yeah, sim racing or sim drifting is like the most fun thing I've ever done. So, you know, it sounds kind of lame. I mean, on a video game at least, let's do that. Snowboarding is probably my favorite in real life. So, but yeah, sim drifting is really cool. Got me a triple monitor setup coming soon. Out of 4080, I just got my cockpit built. I built that a couple weeks ago. It's awesome. I actually got an AliExpress cockpit, and it's held up very, very good. So, yeah, if y'all want a review of that or whatever, it was like $280. I mean, you can't beat that. But yeah, that wraps it up, guys. Hope y'all learned something. Hope y'all are able to practice some of this stuff. And I'll see you guys, I guess, in the next one. Whoa. Right after I go through this one. I always love people understanding something I try to show them, so hopefully I did it in a good way to where it's easy to understand. And yeah. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And yeah, keep sliding, I guess.